Hello, true seekers of light. I hope every one of you is having absolutely blessed day, whether it be with your families or friends, or doing something of a service today to life. So my family is away today. My wife and daughter love Disneyland. They love Disneyland. And they go often. But I do not go because those kind of entertainments are not for me. And I cherish the time that I can be in the absolute stillness and silence at home in my courtyard and commune with life. So I kind of feel that life provides me this space in this manner. There's other manners too, but I must take advantage of what life provides, right? So, starting at 10 o'clock, I worked at the client's house a little bit this morning, but I'm just laying out my day for you so you understand. But at 10 o'clock, I came home and I took 4 grams because I was planning on this today to go very deep. It's the perfect weekend for it. So I'm going to go deep. And then 1 hour later, starting at 11ish, I started taking an additional 3.7 grams slowly. Over the course of a half an hour, I ate powdered 3.7 grams. I also decided to take the turmeric and black pepper again on the first dose. I'm taking it differently now. I'm not using lemon. And I'll drink the turmeric and black pepper separate from the mushrooms. And I think this is better. I was mixing everything and lemon teching. It was so intense. It was causing me like hypothermia convulsions. So I'm backing off of that. There's no need. I don't want more body consciousness. I want steady peace as I enter into the altar, or I enter into communion with life. So I'm just sharing all this so you know exactly what I'm doing. So anyway, I'm going to share something, but I'm not going to use any names. Because life wants me to make this a teachable moment for all of us. And it's very important. You know, in my other videos, I have touched on very heavily that if you really want to be a true seeker of the light, you cannot charge for any of it. Anything you are taught and share, you cannot charge, or you will cease to have any more further progress, okay? You will know what you know, but you will cease further progress. I'm going to share something because there's 2 absolutely fantastic and dear sisters who have reached out to me through email and shared their love of the light with me. And to you 2 sisters, I'm not going to use any names, but I want you to know I absolutely adore the both of you. I hold you deeply in my heart. I find your purity of your journey very refreshing. But I'm going to share this publicly, and I hope you do not mind. I'm not going to share any details. No details whatsoever, ever. I will never share any intimate details about anything, but I'm sharing this because, and it's a very teachable moment, because there are way too many charlatans out there. Way too many charlatans. And it's so easy for them to take advantage of seekers of the light. Okay? It's so easy. because seekers are somewhat vulnerable. And that's why I'm hitting on all these topics very clearly. If anyone ever starts discussing money or compensation with you anywhere on your path, run the other direction. They are false. And this will always reveal them. Okay? They are false. Run the other direction. Cease communication. And just extend your gratitude to life that someone out there said something and protected you to a degree. So anyway, continuing forward, some things were said in the emails that I need to make abundantly clear. And again, I am in service. And I'm in the humblest service to anyone who finds my videos and is drawn to this, okay? And I hope these two dear sisters receive this in the way I'm intending it and don't mind me using this moment for the protection of everyone. Okay? But the words were used in the email about me being a master teacher. And when I saw that, it really made me pause for a moment. Because I had really not contemplated what my effects might be, or what my sharing all this, how it would be received. I have not thought about it one iota. I am just sharing, I'm just being, and I'm not thinking at all about the consequences. So, but I want to make this, it's very important I share this because I haven't responded yet in private to anybody because I wanted to sit with this. I felt like it was very important to sit with this because I don't consider myself a master teacher, but I do consider myself very close to becoming a master student. And always trying to improve how to become a better student in the light. I think it's very, very important that we reserved the word master for those beings who truly deserve it. Just think of those two words, ascended master. Once you ascend, you have attained perfection. And it's the very beginning of your universal service, okay? It's the very beginning. You have awoken, you have conquered this classroom of earth, and you have performed tremendous service to life to reach the ascension. And the word master in conjunction with ascended is where it should be reserved for that use only. But I feel it could also be properly applied to Jesus before he made the ascension. And I think that is truly proper. That he was truly a master teacher before he attained perfection. Because you have to remember, before you ascend, you can make errors. You can affect life in an erroneous manner. And that is why I'm sharing this, because I already have said erroneous things. Well, not entirely erroneous, right? It's fine-tuning that's happening in the things I'm saying. And I'm saying them and then allowing life to correct me instead of just sitting on them silently. I believe this is what life wants me to do. I had the inclination to do this from outside of me, and I felt that it was coming from a pure place. I didn't know the source, but I felt it was from a pure place, and that's why I'm pursuing this. And I'm allowing life to correct me, and it does. Sometimes on the instant and sometimes the following day. Okay, so that's the process that's happening with me, because I am a student, and I am attempting to become a master student, where I know everything required to fine-tune your receptivity to the light to be taught directly and perfectly. So that's one portion of this teaching moment I want to share today. There may be a third, but there's definitely a second. And that is the vulnerability of seekers in the light to be misled by somebody who went down the path a certain degree and then turned from the light is very real, and these people are out there, and they will leech from you. They will attach themselves to your life, and they will leech from you. And there are people who are convinced to empty their savings and their pocketbooks to these people. And these are the charlatans I speak of, and you have to be so careful. And I feel like if I had malintentions, that I could possibly manipulate people somewhere down the road. So I'm calling this out from the very beginning, because I will never do this. I will not do it. And that's why I'm calling it out, so everyone could be aware. Because as a person starts speaking about these things, people will gravitate towards it. It's just what will happen. I hope everyone out there can really feel in the tone of my voice, my sincerity, my authenticity. I will never lead anyone intentionally astray. Ever. I will not do it. I have so much respect for life and people on the path. I will not do this, but I'm calling this out so everyone can be aware and hold my feet to the fire. So, now that that's been said, I'm going to revisit that if anyone communicates to me via email, I will hold it in the highest regard. And you dear sisters, I will reply to you again, directly. I hope you understand, I hope you appreciate what I'm doing in this recording, because you allowed this to happen. You are helping assist in the teaching of true seekers in the light, okay? So I just hope you receive this and appreciate the moment. And I hope you will respect me more for it and not be anywise angry for me to use this moment. All right, so another thing interesting happened today. Just before I started this recording, actually, well, maybe 30 minutes before, is I hadn't really thought about this, but I think I was tested in the past when I was with my teacher. And I think I've just forgotten about it. But I kind of remember being tested when I was with him. And so I had 4 tests present themselves to me today. But these weren't tests, these weren't probings from the sinister force, okay? This was the light testing me. It was very interesting because the first test happened and I wasn't aware of it. I don't even know if I passed that one, honestly. But I became really aware of the second one because it happened immediately after. And I know I passed that one. But then I realized what was happening because it just came out of the blue. But I was actually kind of interested because everything was so silent. Everything was silent. Nothing was talking to me. I wasn't receiving any direction. For a few hours, it was just complete silence. Like that happened the other day, which I mentioned too. But today, 4 tests happened. And the moment I passed one, the other one happened. What was interesting was, so like I said, I don't even remember the first one. It came and went, and I have no idea if I passed. The second one I definitely passed, but I had to work through it. I don't even remember the context of it. It's already vanished from my mind. But the third one came, and I shattered that one before it could even fully present itself. And the fourth one vanished immediately. The light withdrew these tests when I shattered the third one. I'm sharing this because it was probing me. It was testing my resolve. It was definitely testing me. And as soon as that happened, then it started talking to me about how to present this recording I'm presenting right now. Because I wanted to wait. I wanted the light to show me how to navigate this. And I told my friend, because I have a dear friend, I share some of these things that are going on. And I told her I was going to wait to be shown exactly how to use this moment, because in the very instant upon reading the email, I knew that this had to be a teachable moment, and I needed to wait and hear how to do it properly. And so I'm sharing this with you because this is what's happening on this very moment. I'm deep in the stillness, deep in the silence, waiting to be shown. And so every word I'm speaking right now is what was spoken to my consciousness on how to handle this. And I'm sharing this intimate interaction with you so you all will know for your own lives how the light will interact with you if you make yourself a proper student. And through all my future recordings, I'm going to be showing exactly what's occurring for me. So everyone will know how to discern authenticity for their own life. Because I don't want to be a teacher who is adored necessarily down the road. Like, look, all right, so I'm kind of speaking Guru Dev, Sadhguru. Okay. Sadhguru and Guru Dev. So I watch some of their content on YouTube. And it's interesting. Occasionally, not that much. I like to stay very insulated and very pure as possible, okay? Because I'm not going to regurgitate anything that anybody else says. Everything that I say is coming directly, what is directly spoken to my consciousness, okay? That's the only words I'm going to utter. I will never parrot, and I will not regurgitate, but I may call people out as examples as they're presented to me in life. Such I did for Joe Rogan's friend Jocko the other day. In his book, Extreme Ownership, I will call people out as they're presented to my consciousness, okay? But I don't know enough about Guru Dev and Sadhguru to make any really valuable contribution, but I like some of the things they contribute to life. Okay? I like some of their content, but I don't know enough of their authenticity to speak of it. But this is what I will say is, if the moment sexual what's the right word? If there's ever anybody who's teaching the light, because this happened through Bhagwan Sri Rajni, right? But the moment any teacher of the light starts going into body consciousness and any kind of physical pursuits that occur, that's the moment their falsehood is revealed. And I really hope that Guru Dev and Sadhguru are above this. I don't know enough about their intimate, because they have a lot of followers. So I will not make any judgment calls, but I'm just going to say this because it's happened before. And this is the other thing seekers in the light have to be aware of. The moment body consciousness enters into the discussion and there's any advances, that's a clear indication that you need to run the other way. Because any true teacher will most certainly move past any kind of bodily attraction. Okay? If that hasn't happened, then you probably don't want to be embracing them as a teacher. There has to be a certain level of purity in the instruction, in the relationship between teacher and student, that never does body consciousness enter, or any intertwining of the bodies. Okay? It should not happen. And the true teacher should be above this and never go there. All right, so students out there, run the other direction if this ever presents itself to you in your path. Stay insulated. Stay on the true and narrow path. So, as of this moment, I am respecting Sadhguru and Guru Dev. I'm just sharing this because does my respect matter? No, it does not. But I'm just sharing this. At this moment, I do respect them. I do watch some of their content. And I feel they have a certain amount of integrity. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on their content. Because like I said, I want to remain very insulated in what's occurring in my life. I'm not going to parrot. And every word I speak is going to be pure from my own source. Because that is how I'm progressing in life at this moment. I'm no longer worshiping life. I'm not in a place of worship. There's a transition that's happening when you move from worshiping life to accepting your inheritance. Okay? Because no true teacher wants to be in the position of being worshipped. If that ever happens, that's also I mean, that's going to be a test that any true teacher needs to pass. In the moment any seeker of the light presents themselves as worshiping you, you should instantly redirect them to only worship the source that is pouring down into them their own God flame of life. So again, students, if you make the error of worshiping a human being and catch yourself doing that, it's okay. Sometimes it's natural. When you recognize the Christ in another individual, there's going to be a tendency to worship that, okay? But you need to recognize it and redirect that worship and just extend gratitude to the teacher for being a conduit of whatever capability they have managed to be in their life. But do not worship an unascended individual life stream. I'm not really sure you should worship ascended masters either. I don't think even that's proper. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking these words and life will correct me, but I'm pretty sure ascended masters do not want to be worshipped. They want your devotion to be upon your own God self. And that's why Saint Germain put that picture at the very front of the books he brought forth or wanted brought forth. He wanted that picture presented to the students because that is the proper relation of life. That is where your adoration should be, is on your own God self. And if you happen to hear truth spoken by another student of light, such as myself or others out there, do not worship it. You can love it and you can share your love and appreciation, but always reserve your devotion and your worship to your own God self. That's the only proper place of it. It's a very important distinction because I'm saying these things because I never want students in the light to be trapped in any way. I want them to be armed and well informed so that any time a trap presents itself, they know exactly how to handle it. Because it sucks being trapped and having to work yourself out of it. Because you could be trapped for years. You could be trapped for a lifetime. So again, I really hope Sadhguru and Guru Dev and others will actually speak about these things if they haven't already. I hope every true teacher of the light speaks about these things. All right, so to conclude this, actually, I was just uploading, but I'm going to pause that and make a conclusion to this recording because something just came up. I just went out and sat outside, and basically it's this. So, like I said, I am a student on the path, and I'm sharing what I'm being taught. Okay? That's the entirety of what I'm doing. And yes, I've earned the right to be taught directly. Okay? That's what I'm sharing, and occasionally I'll talk about it in that manner. But I don't think anybody should really consider themselves a teacher until they can demonstrate Okay? I'm using the word demonstrate very clearly here because everything else, like I could tell you I'm being taught or life is speaking to me, right? But can I prove that? Not really. I mean, maybe you can take my words as proof, or what I'm trying to communicate as some kind of proof, but it isn't really. So when an individual like my teacher can demonstrate that they know of what that which they speak, then they can be called a teacher. All right. Anything before that, I don't think is really a proper use of the title of being a teacher. Because, I mean, that's just my own feeling. Until you can prove that life respects you, I just don't think you should call yourself a teacher. So I don't want to say that to take away from anybody else out there, helping people progress on their path. It's just a little distinction that I personally, I don't know. That's just what feels right to me. And, I don't, and number one, teachers aren't going to go out there and just wave their hands and say, hey, look, I can do miracles. Come follow me. I mean, that is not how my teacher was. He was silent. He was invisible. The only reason I found him is because life brought me to him. And I didn't know he could do these things, but I could feel his radiation. I knew there was something to him. So, anyway, just a little distinction I wanted to cap off this recording too. So, all right, bless you all.